Alright guys, time to go back again today. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday so far, and today we're going to talk about coin flips. This is a topic which really isn't discussed too much throughout the entire Call of Duty season. It's not going to be relevant anymore towards champs. They're actually basing that off seeding, but the entire season long, coin flips have affected which teams get to pick vetoes first, which is a big deal. I don't have any statistics, and I'd be really intrigued to see statistics on how exactly this has affected the overall win percentage of the game, but it's a big deal, to be honest. A lot of players have talked about this throughout the season, but it hasn't really been discussed in the community at large throughout the entire season. So I thought today it would be worth bringing it to light and see if next season we can do something a little bit different, as we'll talk about today. Like, if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you're new. As always, I would greatly appreciate it. The CDL scuff giveaway with draft buff is coming to an end. If you guys have seen me talk about this the last few days and have thought, oh, I'll just enter it nearer the time, well, there's only about a couple of days left, so get on this now while the opportunity still presents itself. Let's hop into the first thing then. So these are a few tweets I wanted to bring up. This is from EasyMac, of course, the analyst over at FaZe Clan. It's insane how a coin flip plays so much into who wins hard points in this game. Gotta be lucky. We get this from Brian Saint over at the Minnesota Rocker. One of our last 10 coin flips. Is there just no seeding to determine who picks or bans first? Nah, vetoes are determined by a coin flip, a 50-50 coin flip, and well, going into the online arena that we have right now, this is just like they go onto an online website, just do a coin flip, and the team that wins the coin flip gets to decide whether they are Team A or Team B when we go through the veto process. We'll have a look at exactly how that works in a second and why it's a pretty damn big deal in terms of picking maps, because it not only helps you in choosing the maps, but also it gives you beneficial sides in the map for hardpoint, which could be a pretty big deal, right? Because especially on a map like Hackney Yard, for example, hardpoint sides are a pretty big deal, because if you spawn over at that P2 side, you're going to have a very difficult time losing rotation on that first few minutes there. We get this from RQB as well, of course, the Toronto Ultra. 1 in 3 in coin tosses this weekend. This is a while ago in, well, 26th of July. My worst of the season, Team B for the win. So another one here from Brian Saint. Every single thing that could have gone wrong this weekend did. You know, this came from the 13th of June. So this is when the Minnesota event got pushed back, I believe, due to the George Floyd stuff that was going on at the time. The event got pushed back and we were having the best 2 weeks of scrims that we had had. Alex then got the injury late in the weekend there to bring Exceed in. Bit of a disaster for Brian Saint. But he also says we lost to both coin flips of vetoes yet again, making it 1 in 8 the past 3 events. So yeah, far from ideal. Just wanted to share this clip that came up from the podcast then yesterday with Slasher talking about how exactly the vetoes work and the importance of a coin flip in that, and then we'll look at precisely what's going on, because I know Slasher runs through this kind of quickly.
Like, the veto process actually works in terms of, like, it's just a bit confusing whenever we're seeing the maps pop up, like who gets mapped to, who's on good side.
I can break it down for you real quick. So whoever wins the coin toss usually takes Team A, which means they veto a hardpoint first. So Team A vetoes a hardpoint, Team B vetoes a hardpoint. Then Team A picks a hardpoint, then Team B picks from the remaining 2. And if I'm Team A and I pick the hardpoint, you get to pick the side on that hardpoint, right? So I could force you into picking a map that I then get to pick good side on. And then it just goes to S&D, then you veto first, I veto second, you pick first, I pick second, and then flips back to Dom again.
Okay.
Yeah. I forget the jersey color. I think it's white is the home team. So yeah, whoever's in white won the coin toss and, you know, has a little bit of an advantage. Obviously, still, like the black jersey team could obviously still win. Like, it's not just all in the coin toss, but, you know, they have a pretty big upper hand.
So this is then from the CDL rules, and this is exactly what it's looking like. So, of course, map order, hardpoint, search and destroy, domination, hardpoint, search and destroy, all of this kind of stuff. And this is how it's gone the entire season long. So, interestingly, right, in the challenger side, you will note that challengers, the higher seed gets to decide whether it's A or B. And I imagine this would be somewhat difficult to do in competitive play, given that throughout the entire season, players are, well, teams are playing different numbers of events, meaning that, well, some teams have gone to some events, some teams haven't, therefore some teams have played 3 events, some teams have only played 2, and therefore their situation in the standings isn't necessarily representative of exactly how many events they've played in, for example. Then again, you could do a situation where it's you seed for the vetoes based on the amount of points accumulated per event, so you kind of divide the amount of points by the amount of events that team has played, and then take that scoreboard, or at least like that leaderboard of the entire CDL, and then use that to decide, and the higher seed then gets to decide whether it's whether they become Team A or B. So Team A or B is well, how you decide how the vetoes go, and the way it works in pro play this entire season. I don't believe this is the case at champs. I believe they're just doing it on higher seeding, because now the season is finished, everyone's played the same amount of games, so it's not an issue. But that's why I believe they introduced this coin flip situation. It's really not good, right? Because this does have a big impact on how the game goes, and given we're playing Modern Warfare anyway, where the spawns can be pretty random and stuff like that, so adding another level of inconsistency to the game is probably not a good thing for competitive play. but this is what they decided to do the entire season long. So a coin flip happens before the series even begins. The winner then decides what side they want to play on, so which team they want to be, whether that's team A or B, and as we said, that determines exactly how the vetoes go. So side A then, when we were on LAN, wears the primary jersey, sits on the right side of the stage, and side B wears the alternative jersey and sits on the left side of the stage, and then we look at exactly what happens for the hardpoint. So team A then bans one map from the map pool, and well, team A is just going to be the team that wins the coin flip, because team A is the beneficial one, as we will look at here. So they ban one map out, so they get the first pick of the ban that's going to happen in the hardpoint. Then team B bans another map that they want to get rid of, and then team A picks map 1 of the remaining maps. So team A gets the first ban, they also get the first pick, and then team B picks map 4. Then team B chooses the start side for map 1. So yes, A got some sort of advantage in the terms of they got to pick map 1, but team B at least gets to choose the side on that map. And then again though, team B has to pick map 4, and then team A gets to choose the start side for map 4. So some maps it doesn't have particularly a big advantage in terms of which side you spawn on. There's always some degree of significance. So like if you think of Ramaza, you think of Gunrunner, you think of Hackney Yards, all of these definitely do have some advantages, but maybe it's easier to break the spawns on Ramaza than it is on a map like Hackney Yard, for example. So if you're team A, maybe you go for Ramaza map 1 when team B gets to choose the beneficial side, and then you leave you leave Hackney Yard in the pool for them to pick it in map 4, so then you get the advantage of being able to choose what side you want to spawn in on that map. So definitely beneficial to be team A in the hardpoints. Then we look at the search and destroys. Team B at this time gets to choose one map from the pools. They ban that out. Team A then, so basically it flips to go through this. So the search and destroys, team B then picks map 2, team A picks map 5, team A chooses start side for map 2, but start side isn't probably as relevant in search and destroy maybe as it is in hardpoint, but still definitely does have some degree of significance. So over the hardpoint and the search and destroy, you can say it's pretty much even, but maybe team A has something of an advantage. But then you look here at domination. I'll just make sure this is fully on screen. Team A gets to ban the map, then team B gets to ban the remaining map, and then the remaining map is played. But A then chooses the start side, and in domination, start side is pretty important, right? If you look at a map like Hackney Yard, for example, that A-B hold is much better than the B-C hold, because if you hold A and B, you often get that dodgy spawn over by the police car, so you can go then and through, you can go through and cap C and neutralize it and cause absolute chaos for the team that's trying to hold on to that BC setup if they can even get it. So definitely advantageous on several of the domination maps to choose to spawn on the correct side. And A also gets that advantage. So certainly a coin flip has some impact on the game. As I say, I don't have any statistics on who's won the coin flips and how that's translated into the overall series win percentage, because if it was just a 50-50 and it didn't matter, then we would be looking at 50%, right? And in an ideal world, coin flips have no indication, and team A or B doesn't really matter. But the fact of the matter is, team A does matter, and if you are team A, you do get some beneficial advantages in terms of how you can veto the maps to your advantage. And well, not only do you get advantages in terms of how what side you can spawn in on, which is pretty important, but you then get that for domination as well. So it even well exacerbates your advantage in that sense. So far from ideal. I'm surprised they went with this coin flip method. It just seems pretty crazy to me. I thought they would have come up with a better method to decide who was the higher seed, because in the challenges they're doing it based on higher seeds, and you would imagine the same thing would have translated into professional play, but doesn't really seem to be the case. And just to finish off then here, so Brian Saint says here, we won a coin flip. RST says they changed coin color to purple not to play favorites. Liam, who I believe is one of the referees over at the CDL that probably like does the coin flip on the website or whatever, we had literally like 9 coin flip losses in a row. I swear we've only won like 4 or 5 all year. Liam is the scam master. So that's the thing, right? Some teams are going to get unlucky because of this. Some teams are going to get lucky, and that's going to have an impact on how the series go overall. Even if it's only like a few % difference in your chance to win a series over the course of an entire season, if you're an unlucky team. And well, of course, if they were to play like a million series every season, then it wouldn't really be an issue, right? Because 500,000 times you get team A, 500,000 times you get team B. But over the course of a season where you might play like 100 series, it's certainly possible to get pretty unlucky and only win like 30 of those coin flips, or only win 35 of those coin flips. And if you're an unlucky team, if you're a lucky team, then well, obviously this isn't an issue we really want to have in competitive play. So I really think there needs to be a better format next season to actually decide who is the higher seeding based on what's happened so far this year. And well, obviously the way the launch weekend worked this year made it somewhat difficult, because some teams were like 2-0, some teams were 1-1, some teams are 0-2, and some teams would be like exactly even in terms of the map win percentage and all that kind of stuff. But you know, only if teams are exactly tied in terms of their standing in the leaderboard, then maybe we could use a coin flip. In other situations, I think we really need to be doing it based on seeding, or do something better than this, because it just doesn't look good for the CDL overall that's using this, and it's not good for the players and well, coaches and all the analyst stuff as well, as we've looked at today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always. I'd certainly be intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
I'm on top stand.
Oh, no one got out now.
No one there, no one there.
Alright,
Back left, watch your back
Got 'em
left.
both.
I'm under press, under press.
Back
Down
left,
to you
under
guys.
pass. Yeah, nice.
Nice, alright, that's what it.
I'm rotating right. Get off bridge.
In the back. Yeah.
Get off right, I got under pass.
Yo, I'm picking up right.
And I'm one more close.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna help you feet out. I'm gonna get top broken.
Yo, white truck.
See how I'm at that.
Yeah, they should be going P5.
Smoke under pass.
You sun in.
Yeah, they're weak. I got one.
Got off right. Gotta get an initial. Yo,
Yo,
get an initial.
Oh my god, shit, I'm bad.
Watch
He
out,
up right, he up right.
two of them.
He up right.
I'm needing
I got
over
tell.
for you.
Yeah, I need over.
Bridge,
Go.
bridge,
Flip that.
Top cat dead.
I'm gonna get on top
One
for a second.
bridge,
Yo,
bridge,
P5,
bridge.
P5.
I can get top.
P5.
I'm broken.
Go white pickup.
There you go.
White pickup cell. I'm literally unkillable right now.
Either bridge.
Rhino said that.